Imagine hacking into some of the most secure systems in the world, stealing data worth millions from tech giants like Microsoft, Epic Games, and even the US military.
When a group of teenage hackers started to infiltrate Microsoft and its Xbox video game division, it may have been a challenge and a thrill, but it didn't end so innocently.
Members of the group were accused of stealing massive amounts of intellectual property, and they faced federal prosecution. The story, The Young and the Reckless, is detailed in Wired magazine this week.
Now imagine doing it not for money, but out of sheer curiosity and the thrill of discovery. This is the story of Dylan Wheeler, known online as SuperDaE. He was a teenage hacker who saw the digital world as his playground, embarking on an audacious path that led to a global game of cat and mouse with law enforcement.
I don't see it as on the run. I mean, what's coming out of Australia now, I don't really want to be associated with the politics. All these draconian laws, I don't feel comfortable calling myself Australian. Really, I feel a lot better being free. At this point in time, I don't plan to return to Australia. This is on the advice of human rights lawyers I've spoken to, basically because I am not guaranteed a fair trial.
Dylan Wheeler was no lone wolf. He was part of a larger movement, a covert network of teenagers who began as curious tech enthusiasts and evolved into the Xbox Underground, a group of hackers who would shake the tech industry to its foundations. Their targets were some of the biggest names in gaming, and their impact, devastating. But for Dylan Wheeler, the consequences were even more personal. Dylan Wheeler, or SuperDaE as he was known online, grew up in Perth, Australia. Unlike most teenagers who were content simply to play video games, Dylan wanted to know how they worked, what lay behind the screen. By the age of 12, he was already exploring the digital boundaries of gaming consoles, probing firewalls and accessing hidden code. These early feats fueled a powerful curiosity that would lead him down a dangerous path. But Dylan wasn't the only one drawn to the mysteries of technology. Across the globe, a community of like-minded teenagers was forming. These were kids who, like Dylan, weren't interested in destruction. They were driven by curiosity, eager to peel back the layers of complex systems. Among them were David Pecora, Anthony Clark, and later Austin Alcala and Nathan LaRue, all of whom would become part of what would eventually be called the Xbox Underground.
I'm talking about $200 million of intellectual property at a low-end estimate. Secondly, the audacity of the hackers was incredible to me. The fact they didn't just hack into companies, they actually organized a physical break-in and burglary at Microsoft headquarters to steal an Xbox prototype. They counterfeited their own Xbox prototype console. Wow. They really got stuck into this enterprise.
Their initial goals were modest, modding their Xbox consoles, creating cheats, and accessing hidden features in their favorite games. The console of choice, the Xbox 360. Microsoft, having learned from past security failures, had touted the Xbox 360 as unhackable. But as the Xbox Underground was about to show, every fortress has a weak point. In 2009, their persistence paid off. Hackers found the JTAG exploit, a breakthrough that would alter the gaming landscape. The exploit allowed them to bypass Microsoft's security measures entirely, unlocking the Xbox 360 for mods, cheats, and pirated games. For Dylan and the Xbox Underground, this discovery was like opening a gateway into their favorite world. The JTAG exploit was just the beginning. As their skills and ambitions grew, the Xbox Underground began targeting far larger prizes. Next came PartnerNet, an internal Microsoft platform where developers uploaded test versions of games. For months, members like David Pecora and Dylan Wheeler roamed PartnerNet, accessing unreleased titles like Halo 3 and Gears of War 3. One of their biggest coups was a full copy of Gears of War 3, downloaded directly from Epic Games' servers well before the official release date. For Dylan, the thrill wasn't just about playing the game early. It was about proving they could infiltrate some of the most secure networks in the industry. But the Xbox Underground wasn't just about playing games anymore. Then in 2012, Dylan took an audacious leap. Under his alias SuperDaE, he posted an eBay auction for the next-gen Xbox development kit, codenamed Durango. With SuperDaE written next to the console, he wasn't hiding his tracks. He was showing them off. The auction was quickly shut down by law enforcement, but the message was clear. Microsoft's security had been breached, and the Xbox Underground was just getting started. The auction sent shockwaves through the gaming world. Microsoft, once thought to be impenetrable, had been exposed. But this stunt also attracted the attention of the FBI and police agencies worldwide.
No, they really did. They talked among themselves all the time about the fact the FBI was onto them. They were reading emails from companies talking to the FBI saying that someone's inside our networks. We need to investigate this.
And they weren't scared by this?
To them, it was a game until things went horribly awry for a lot of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's nothing new that they had this capability. We talk about hacker conventions that go on, but it seems a little unique that you had this group that was so organized behind it. How unique is that?
It's not really that unique. I think that when people who live all over the world find each other online and finally have common interests that they don't share with people in their local communities, they forge a kind of emotional attachment and bond. These people had a real friendship with each other.
Microsoft and Epic Games quickly moved to shut down the leak, but Dylan and his associates were ready for their next heist. Before the Durango incident, Dylan and the Xbox Underground had already ventured deeper into Epic Games' systems. Using simple login credentials, they bypassed firewalls and accessed the company's network, gaining control over game source codes and downloading gigabytes of confidential data. For the Xbox Underground, each successful breach was more exhilarating, but the stakes were rising. In 2013, the FBI intensified its focus on the group. High-profile leaks and Dylan's eBay stunt were drawing attention from cybercrime units, who now saw the Xbox Underground as a significant international threat. Although the Xbox Underground started with gaming, their ambitions grew with each success. In 2012, Austin Alcala and Nathan LaRue stumbled upon something far more sensitive than video games, a U.S. military Apache helicopter training simulator. Developed by Zombie Studios, this simulator trained Apache pilots for real missions. The group's activities had crossed a dangerous line. By mid-2013, the FBI was prepared to strike. David Pecora, one of the Xbox Underground's core members, was apprehended at the U.S.-Canada border, and authorities quickly arrested Nathan, Austin, and others. Law enforcement raids across North America confiscated computers, hard drives, and other gear as the group's hacking spree came to a swift, dramatic end. David Pecora's arrest marked a turning point. He became the first foreign hacker to be criminally charged in the U.S. for theft of over $100 million in trade secrets. Convicted, he was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison. Other members, like Austin Alcala, cooperated with authorities, aiding the FBI in investigations that would crack down on even more cybercriminals. After serving their time, some of the group sought redemption. David Pecora now works with cybersecurity firms, using his skills to safeguard systems he once breached. For these former hackers, it was a rare second chance. Dylan Wheeler, however, took a different path. After evading arrest by fleeing Australia, he attempted to establish a cybersecurity business in Europe, but soon vanished from the public eye. Some believe he may have returned to the underground hacking world, while others think he's living in obscurity. His mother faced jail. The story of the Xbox Underground serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting how a group of curious teenagers seeking adventure and recognition could inadvertently redefine the boundaries of cybercrime. Today, some of them are trying to redeem themselves by defending the very systems they once infiltrated. But Dylan Wheeler, SuperDaE, remains a mystery. Despite his mother's conviction for aiding his escape, he continues to evade justice, leaving an indelible mark on the history of cybercrime. The Xbox Underground may have started as a group of teenagers passionate about games, but they were a harbinger of the digital frontier to come. Today, tech giants reinforce their defenses with lessons learned from these breaches. And as our world becomes increasingly digital, one thing is clear: the thrill of hacking is a dangerous game. One misstep can cross the line from curiosity to crime.